We're glad to have you back with economic growth still struggling and inflation surging amid volatile operating environment. The latest hike in interest rates by the Central Bank of Nigeria has been greeted with criticism as the Monetary Policy Committee of the Apex Bank raised its benchmark interest rates from 17.5% to 18%. This indicates that the cost of funding businesses in the country is set to go higher as the MPR sets the tone of lending rates by commercial banks to their customers, many of whom are manufacturers and other business owners. However, concerns about the ripple effects of this decision and its implication for the manufacturing sector that is visibly struggling to survive the numerous strangulating financial and monetary policy measures and reforms. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria says the development is not business-friendly and will hinder the sector's economic recovery and performance amid the devastating effects of the current cash crunch and high energy costs due to fuel scarcity. Well, let's make more sense of all of this and understand what the rate hikes meant and, of course, other macroeconomic headwinds bedeviling us as a country. I'm being joined again via Zoom by Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, who is the Deputy President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you so much, Mr. Idahosa. It's good to see you this Friday afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Yes, first it was inflation rate, more on the higher side, from 21.82% to 21.91%. As if that is not enough, the central bank is saying we'll keep defending these inflation figures with hiking monetary policy rate. What do you make of 18%, where we stand at the moment? We're talking about the MPR's decision after the MPC meeting.
Well, the central bank's position and the opening statement summarizes what is actually going on. If you have inflation continuously moving up and you want to use your MPR as part of the instruments of fighting it, then you really don't have any options but to keep moving the MPR up in the hope that that will slow down the inflation by attracting a lot of liquidity out of the markets. That's essentially the classic monetary policy response to inflation, to rising inflation. Now we have seen it from the Fed in the US to the Bank of England. Everybody is hiking interest rates to fight inflation. So we are following the classic, if you like, monetary policy response, but that have some underlying assumptions that you have an economy that has that liquidity to respond to the increase in interest rates. But if you have an economy where the overwhelming majority, we say about 99% of the Nigerian economy, people in the economy do not have liquidity to respond to when you increase interest rates. When you increase interest rates, you expect people to have liquidity to now say, let me invest because interest rates have gone up. Let me put money in fixed deposits rather than spend it. Let me buy treasury notes because the rates are going up. Let me put more money in money market because the rate is becoming more attractive. MPR has gone to 18. But the vast majority of Nigerians are not in that position. They do not even have enough to live, to meet their very basic needs. So they are not able to respond to that kind of incentive that is being offered by CBN to now start saving because the interest is higher. So that is the dilemma of a central bank, a country like Nigeria, trying to behave like a central bank in America or Europe or other advanced economy. The classic economic theory says you should do the same thing. But if the underlying economy of the countries are not the same, then you don't expect to get the same result. So that has been the dilemma that central bank is continues to deal with, because we are on one side increasing the cost of production by increasing interest rates. On the other side, we are not increasing deposits because people, the Nigerian people as a whole, do not have any surplus income to take to the bank or buy financial market instruments because interest rate is now 18%. If I put 1 million at 18%, I will make a lot more money. If I don't have any million at all, in fact, I don't have money to feed. So how do I respond to that incentive to save. So that's the essential classic dilemma that governor of the central bank is dealing with. But nonetheless, he believes we still need to do what the book says you should do. When you have inflation, it's continuously rising, you have to increase your NPR. So that's where we are. So critics are right to say, why are you doing it? But central bank does not seem to have many options, to address the rising inflation.
But some say this inflation we face at the moment is a supply side kind of inflation. That's also on one side. In recent times, we've also seen a little bit of stability in the foreign exchange market. It's been hovering between 740 naira, 750 naira, 745 naira, and all of this. So many believe that all of this should impact the figures we are getting from the NBS. Tell us how it's been for business people like you, what's been playing out with regards to FX, and of course, we could also talk about the crunch, the Naira crunch. How has it affected business in its totality?
Well, it has had very, very adverse effects. A lot of manufacturers cannot get the kind of raw materials or spare parts or new machinery that they need. And so what you find is manufacturers, irregular importers are all reducing capacity. They are reducing capacity to the reality of available foreign currency. And that is why you see what I've described as seeming stability in the foreign currency market. If you know that the foreign currency is just not there, even if you throw money at the foreign currency market, and you go to, whether it is CBN, whether it's other sorts of foreign currency, you have the money in your pocket, you put it on the table. And the foreign currency seller says, I just don't have money to sell to you. So we're now having a reality check. Don't increase your demand for foreign currency because the foreign currency is out there. So from basic consumer consumption of foreign currency, like traveling, when people want to travel and want to take out $5,000, $10,000 for holidays, everybody is doing their reality check. If you have to travel, you have to make do with much less foreign currency. It means where Nigerians generally are spending less money on shopping when they go abroad. If they can afford it, they are spending less money on anything that has to do with foreign currency. So that is why we are seeing a little bit of moderation in foreign currency. The hardship that's affecting business has not reduced. Most businesses that need foreign currency are suffering as much as they used to suffer. But because they don't have access to foreign currency, you cannot just, the foreign currency market was supposed to be an auction where you put more money into the market and then the price goes up, but you get the currency. But if you throw more money into the auction market now for foreign currency and no foreign currency shows up, then why should you keep pushing the price when you know there is no currency there? So it could be what you might say we are self-correcting to a new lifestyle where we'll be consuming less foreign currency. Because all the things that make us consume foreign currency, we can no longer afford. So we are adjusting to the reality of life in many ways. From routine going out for medical check, which are common middle class used to take for granted, a lot of people are now doing their medical checks in Nigeria. So you have all of that self-discipline, if you like, of accepting the reality and gradually reducing some of the pressure on the demand for foreign currency.
So with all of these challenges we face, many would say that the instrumentality of a monetary side seems not to be enough to address this challenge. We need the fiscal side, agricultural space, all of the other big support from the fiscal side to augment what the monetary side is doing. Do you think that is also something that we should look at the moment?
There has been no doubt that that is what we need to do. And from time to time, we need to remind ourselves that the central bank of any country, not just the Nigerian central bank, does not have a factory where it produces dollars to give to whoever wants dollars. It's the economy that generates products and services and exports them, and then country earns foreign currency, which the central bank is just a custodian. So you cannot expect CBN to generate or supply foreign currency that it doesn't have. That's where the fiscal side comes in. The fiscal incentives for us to be a more productive economy, to be able to export goods and services at internationally competitive prices, is the question we have not sufficiently answered. You just finished talking about power supply. Most of the countries we are competing with have forgotten about the kind of power problems we have in Nigeria, perhaps 50 years ago, that they have the kind of issues of poor quality power, frequent power cuts. It's something that some countries, even children that are 30, 40 years old, don't even know existed in their country. So when you have manufacturers in Nigeria having to deal with the kind of power issues you have now, then of course, we cannot produce the goods and services that will bring in the foreign currency through exports. So the fiscal side has a lot of work to do, whether it is power, whether it is infrastructure, the rail lines, whether it's the ports, all those things that make Nigeria able to export. We really shouldn't be talking about reducing imports. We should be talking about rapidly increasing exports. Because if we want to be one of 20 top 20 countries in the world, and you look at all of them, their annual import base is far, far, far higher than what we are talking about. The most successful, most buoyant countries in the world import heavily, but they also export heavily. So it is exporting more than we import that we are talking about, not about, oh, we are importing much, we should stop importing. No. We should produce and export so much that whatever we import now is always far less than what we export. But the fiscal side of the economy has to address this. So that's really speaks to your concern about the fiscal side. The fiscal side has to do their own job. The central bank is not going to, by some magic, that will produce foreign currency. Of course, on the supply side of foreign currency, the essential task for central bank still remains create an international financial center in Nigeria, which is like a free trade zone for currency, where currencies can come in and out, just like you have the major international financial centers, whether it's Dubai, whether it's Qatar, whether it's Singapore, whether it's Hong Kong, of course, whether it's London or Switzerland. A lot of the foreign currencies that flow into those territories are not because they are in the exporters. It's not export that brings all the foreign currency you see in Switzerland or in Singapore. It's just that there is a free market, an international financial market, where foreign currencies can flow in and out freely. Just like we have our free trade zones in Nigeria for commodities, where goods can come in and go out without exchange, custom duty, exchange controls, and all that. But it's still work in progress for the central bank. We were to have our first international financial center during the tenure of the governor of the central bank, Charles Soludo, but the project was not completed before he left. And since then, we haven't got that. So perhaps that's the only thing we can expect the central bank to do as fast as possible. Have a normal, if you like, a basic international financial center so that anybody who has money in the world, if you have $1 million or $1 billion in the world, anywhere, rather than put it in Switzerland, you can bring it to the Nigeria International Financial Center, get a competitive rate that is just as competitive as what you can get from Switzerland. And then anytime you want to take out money, you take it out. When we have that, then all these concerns about how much foreign currency is coming in per month, CBN has to keep reminding us this amount has come in during the month, so much has been spent. It will become to be forgotten, because foreign currency flows are just like any other flows. It really doesn't matter who owns it. It is whether there is a market where the currencies can flow in and out as and when business transactions need them. That center can be in Dubai, it can be in Lagos, it can be anywhere. So we need to, that's the big question about the supply side of the foreign currency market in Nigeria that a lot of the people in the industry, financial industry, are talking about. So the central bank has to quickly address that is that, but it's a lot of work involved setting up an international financial center. So it's understandable that the central bank is taking quite some time to do that.
Gabriel Idahosat there, Deputy President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Well, we couldn't get the best of that interview, but the audio was fine. We couldn't get the picture, but the message has been passed. Thank you so much and do have a great weekend.